Hi everyone, it's your favorite lazy scientist from Voltec, and I decided to do a series of experiments, and I have the first one. Is the potato fattening or not? I know experiment will not be perfect because perfect experiment do not exist, but it will be as good as it can be done based on me, and that's important because it will apply to me and maybe to other people too. At this we do not know. Definitely it will apply to me. And my background is I'm trying to figure out which food is not fattening for me, as surprisingly after losing over 50 pounds in weight, it is very easy to gain weight again, way easier than it is first time. So now more details about this experiment. First you need to know some baseline, and this is I do track my calories for the purpose of experiments. So this is about how it looks on chronometer when I'm maintaining my weight for about 2 weeks. I have my solid schedule. I monitor amount of calories I consume, usually slightly higher on consumed calories than chronometer will show that I'm actually burning, but that's my maintenance. So between 3 to 3,300 calories per day. It's my maintenance. That's my average breakdown of macronutrients. I very rarely have alcohol, so it's very small amounts showing in here per day because it's just on occasion a little bit. Now, knowing this baseline, I set the experiment, which is me eating one type of food for a full day without any restrictions. So basically, based on my hunger level, I'm eating as much as I want to do not be hungry normally, not try to overfeed myself, not force feed, but as well not trying to limit my intake by any means, when normally I need to, in order to maintain my weight, I need to limit somehow my intake, either by intermittent fasting or counting calories or doing something to limit the intake, as naturally I will eat slightly more, about 4,000 calories. So that's more than I need if I would not put any limitations in place. Now, obviously, I will not be able to eat potato like that, or even boiled one doesn't taste good, so experiment, it needs to be something that tastes good. So, as you can see, I'm using a full meal. So those are potatoes, there is some cottage cheese, a little bit of tomato, and some onions, some salt, some pepper, that's for taste. But generally, mostly calories comes from potatoes. So about a detailed breakdown, what I'm eating, there you can see all my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, I end up eating 3 times. So there have been 3 meals, they all very similar. I was basically full after consuming the full potato meal for about 5 hours. Then I was hungry, I prepared a new one, and from the breakfast to lunch, I was quite hungry around lunch, so that's over 2 pounds of potatoes, 940 gram. That's over 2 pounds of potatoes. The same cottage cheese, same tomato and onion every time. The potato calories from potato, 72% of my total calories. Macronutrients breakdown. It is mostly carbohydrates. Potato is carbohydrate, mostly. There's barely anything else. Some extra protein from cottage cheese, and some stuff inside those tomatoes, but this is so negligible amount of any nutrients from tomato and onion. So calories, mostly potato, then some cottage cheese, and that's about it. And that was what was required to make this meal taste good. I was still having some sweet cravings during the day, so I sorted out by drinking a 0-calorie soft drink with my meal, as unfortunately I have this weakness to sweets, and I will be testing sweets later, but I'm pretty sure those will have different results. As potatoes, that's the result. Not fattening based on this experiment. Just 3,000 calories consumed, calories burned, so I'm about 200 above what chronometer is showing as I burned. So that's maintenance in my case. So I naturally ate only as much as was needed for my day to sustain my calorie requirements, which is really surprising, as a lot of people is blaming potatoes for being fattening, as potatoes are carbohydrates. From my experiment, potatoes are not fattening. Some more data. This is a graph showing my intake over like last 9 or 10 days. And as you can see, on the potato, we end up on the lower end. I was eating slightly less, so definitely not fattening. Are those slimming? Not sure. If potato alone will make you start losing weight, maybe if you'll be heavier, but I'm at this moment about around the weight that I want to be, so just under 190 pounds. It's fluctuate a little bit from 180 to 190, somewhere in between. That's my current weight, and that's a correct weight. And that's what I want to keep. And this is the potato result. Surprisingly good. Potato happened to be not fattening. And I will not bore you anymore because this is all the data. This is the result. This is experiment number 1. I will commence other experiments with different food types, with more complex or more simple food. I will probably do some chocolate, as I'm really curious what will be my calorie intake on chocolate. I love chocolate. Please tell me it's not fattening. That's what I want to hear. Is it? How big difference will be? Maybe chocolate will be next. So I really feel like I want to eat some chocolate. And of course, I'm not doing this experiment day after day because I need to go from the experiment back to my baseline, do new experiment. So every experiment will be from the same baseline, from the same weight, from the same activity level. Basically, I will try to keep everything in my life the same for experiment purposes. And now, is it what you expected? Do you still think potatoes are fattening, or you always knew potatoes are not fattening? Let me know. Turtle out. Thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.